Hey everybody, Campus Life video blog. This is one we're talking about love versus lust. And I think we've got a problem. I don't think we know what love is. And I think we mistake it for lust. I mean, last week I talked about responding to the feelings that we have and not really thinking it through. And I think we respond to the feeling of lust thinking it's love. See, love is such a complex thing. I mean, in one sentence, I could say that I love my wife. And then in a totally different sentence, I could say that I love tacos. Tacos? I mean, did I just refer to the same love that I have for my wife as the love that I have for tacos? I mean, I use one word to describe two different things. Did you know that Inuit people have 50 different words for snow? I mean, they have all these words to describe one different thing. Why can't we do that with love? Because love is mysterious and scary and powerful. And we usually respond to those feelings we have towards someone with one word, love. But that can be dangerous. Because what if it's not love? What if it's not the same kind of love that you believe you have in that relationship? What if it's different? And what if it's more? See, I think that there are different levels of love, just like when I talked about loving my wife and loving tacos. But here's the thing. If you're in a relationship and you've said, I love you, have you really thought about what you're saying? Check out this poem from the Bible. It says this: for love is as strong as death. Its jealousy is as enduring as the grave. Love flashes like a fire, its brightest kind of flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can rivers drown it. If a man tried to buy love or sell love, his offer would be despised. Love is such a serious thing. I don't think we can just go around and throwing that word around just because we can't identify how we feel. And unfortunately, in our culture, we've been told that it's okay to have strong physical desires for people. I mean, the media tells us that it's okay to have sex with someone as long as you're careful, as long as you love them. And I think we buy into this lie. And what ends up happening is that we end up having all these physical desires to be with someone, and we act on them. But here's the thing. I want you to think about it like this. Talk about sex and having physical desires for someone, and I have this brand new piece of duct tape. And I want you to think about this as being sex in a relationship. And you stick it on your shirt, kind of like so. And you keep it there. If we base all of our relationships on sex, and you have several relationships, and you have sex in all these relationships, and you base it on the physicalness, and you take your piece of tape and you apply it to another relationship and you stick it on there again, what do you think is going to happen if you start peeling that tape off and putting it on different elements of your clothing? It's going to lose its stickiness. Eventually, it's not going to stick at all if you keep using the same piece of tape. And I think this is what we do when we bring lust into our relationships, is that our physical parts of the relationship, they don't stick anymore, which is why we always talk about saving those physical elements for one person, because the tape won't stick anymore. Maybe you understand that, and maybe you don't. But I really want to encourage you to leave the physical out of your relationships and save it for that one person. Because when we actually say we love someone, we trick ourselves into thinking that's the proper response, and it really isn't. It's all based on what we want and the physical desires. That's a lie. And we say, I love this person, and I love that person, and You really don't. It's just a feeling. That's called lust. Here's what lust is defined as. It's a strong sexual desire for someone. And what happens all too often is we have these feelings for people and we call it love. And we're told that this is where love comes from, out of these physical desires. But when your love comes from lust, it's not really love, is it? You see, there's a difference between the two. Lust is selfish. It's all about how we feel, how I feel. And you want that feeling to fulfill your desires and those needs. And I get that. But lust is selfish. Love, on the other hand, is something totally different. Love is selfless. It doesn't demand its own way. It keeps no record of wrong. It's patient and it's kind. So I gotta ask you one more time, when you say that you love someone in your dating relationships, do you really realize what you're saying? I've seen tons of young people dating, and I hear over and over again that I love you and I love this person. But then a few weeks later they might break up out of jealousy or anger or whatever. And I always say to myself, they have no idea what love is, but they know what lust is, and they call it love. Which is why I feel like I have to say something. You know, we've been talking about relationships and dating and being single and all this stuff, and love and lust play a part in all of those things. And you might disagree with me on some of those things, and that's okay. But the more you get involved in relationships, the more complex they become. And when you start bringing love into the picture, you're at a level that's even more complex than love. And we're going to talk about that next week. And we're going to talk more about commitment and being committed to someone. Because as soon as you say you love someone and you bring that in, you've taken it to a whole nother level. And depending on how you deal with that, it can get really complex. And so when we talk about love, I really want to challenge you that when you say you love someone, especially when you're a teenager, do you really realize what you're saying? Because I've seen people that have no clue. And when you say love, is it really as strong as death? I hope this has been a challenge to you. See you next week when we finish up our whole section on relationships and dating and all that stuff. And I really want to just encourage you that if you're in a relationship, I really want to caution you on the things that you're doing and the things you're saying. Because like I said, the more you get involved in relationships, the more complex they get. For the Campus Life video blog on sex and love and lust, this is Aaron. See ya.